Everyone, welcome to the Casper Paranormal View. My name is Chris, and this is Dan, Superman, Angelo, and the strange and lovely A-New. That's A-N-E-W is what we're going to call her from now on.
That's how it sounds, but it's A-N-N-U.
Oh, is that what it is?
Or how you say N with a U.
Yes. So, to all the people that are out watching us, the thousands upon thousands of viewers that we have, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I would like a sound check from one of our, hello Laura, one of our people.
Are we sounding there, Richard?
Really?
My voice a little loud. But
Yeah.
I'm sorry. How are we
Richard,
sounding?
just open your window. You'll be able to hear Angelo, okay? He's in Jersey. I mean...
I do that a lot. My
what?
voice is always loud.
Oh, yeah.
I have to learn.
Oh, it's fun.
I have to wear a muzzle.
Yeah.
Sweetheart. So you got your fan base, girl. You don't need to
Very,
say a word.
very, very
you
loud.
got it.
But
Don't worry
anyway...
about these two guys.
Thank you.
We're buzzing.
We are? I was buzzing earlier, but I'm not buzzing now.
You might have to
Oh.
lower the order.
Okay, I can lower it. I can do the mixer right here. And I will lower this down just a little bit.
Okay, Richard, we're on
Testing
you.
1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
Oh,
Okay.
how's that now, Richard?
I'm going to actually do this. I'm going to do this. Testing 1, 2.
Okay.
This already exists.
Technical difficulties already.
No, not necessarily.
Still there.
Fine
We're
tuning.
trying. We're trying. And the gain should be perfect.
You know, it might be your fan. The fan.
It might be the
Computer?
fan. That's what this was for. Angelo.
Okay, slip that back on.
That was me. That was me. I know this looks wrong. Just put the sock back on the
There we
microphone.
go.
So, I'm sorry, you're putting the sock back on one?
Sock back on.
On the microphone.
How is that now? Is it better?
Okay. Well, anyway, it's an exciting night tonight. We have some people here. First of all, if everybody saw the Facebook page
We're freezing.
of the... you're cold?
No.
Yeah, we
we're
keep
pitcher
freezing and I have weird
Oh, that's okay. We'll deal with it.
Just a
It'll-
glitch.
Okay.
Just a glitch. Just go with it. If everybody saw the Facebook page of the ghostly thing in the Sagdacoast Manor, this is the man that took it. The gentleman from Sawgrass. He is Sawgrass. He
Sawgrass
is the man.
Productions. Get it right.
Hey, everyone.
Sawgrass Productions. Dan, tell us how you came across finding such a phenomenal footage that you have.
Actually, I wasn't there to film anything paranormal. My company and I were producing a documentary film of Long Island. It's long overdue. We haven't done it, and we've been filming 2 years. And when I first got into the business, prior to 2 years ago, I never picked up a camera really. I told my wife I wanted to start my own business, do a documentary film of Long Island. Next thing you know, she bought a camera and it's in my hand. So when I started filming, we started hitting the areas locally. I live in West Islip, so Sagato's Manor is not too far from us on Montauk Highway. And it's just one of the historical places of Long Island. So learning the camera, learning how to do the frame-ups and everything, I was with my next-door neighbor at the time, and the cemetery is right there on the property. You've been there. You've done investigations there.
Absolutely.
So the cemetery is right there, and it was interesting that you were telling me on Facebook the other day that there's a little girl that haunts the place, because I actually went back, and they do have that little, what do you call it, monument for that little unknown Indian girl or something like that. So it was weird, but when that particular shot came up, I actually didn't mean to film it. That's why it's so short, because I see people on Facebook saying, I need a longer clip to look at.
Right.
I was actually doing the frame up, and I thought I took a picture and not recorded. So when I realized I recorded, I stopped. But in whatever amount of seconds it was, 7 seconds, 8 seconds, I caught this entity. I don't know what to call it, and I study this. I mean, I must have looked at this thousands of times just to make sure that I'm not crazy. I mean, everybody knows me. I'm crazy.
Yes,
but,
you're absolutely crazy.
I'm not out of my freaking mind that way,
Well.
So I'm looking, and it was just weird during the day, like when you watch shows like Ghost Hunters and
You don't see any of that stuff.
You don't really see any of that. Like if you see like orbs or glows of light. Like this is a shadow I caught. Seems like, I don't know, drifting, walking, whatever. But
The amazing part, I'm going to cut you off here, is it goes past the tombstone, right?
right.
And then it actually goes past the tombstone. I watched it like you. Angelo even said that he was like stopping it and go, stop, go.
No, that's what I said. I originally got to him. I said, was there somebody walking behind you?
Right, I remember
casting
you-
a shadow? He says, no. So you have to debunk everything.
Oh,
That's what
absolutely.
we
Matter of
do.
fact, I have a video on on YouTube debunking what I found on
The wall.
No, debunking Sagdaco's Manor.
Oh.
I had a picture of a little girl,
Right.
and I went back and I explained what the picture was. It wasn't real.
Right.
It was. I didn't use night vision back in the day, and it was just this stump, and then with a piece of cement, and with the angle that I had, it looked like a little girl, looked like she was playing ball, and it was fake. I went back because I looked at pictures over and over and over. I'm like, really? And if you know anything about paranormal, if you take one picture and then you take the exact same picture a second later or 2 seconds later, and the picture's still there, and then you take it again and it's still there.
It's not paranormal.
Then it's not paranormal.
Yeah.
That's something that's either in the cement, like Man in the Wall,
Right.
or something. But this video, when I looked at it over and over, I'm looking at it, I'm like, it seems to be actually, and the way it walked, it was like just the slowness and the mysterious of the way it looked.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
exactly. The more I looked at it, I said, the more I was like, yeah. Now, like I say, the more you look at it, the more you can pick
It's
it out.
almost like it was
You can
floating.
almost see the
Right.
edge, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And it
Yeah.
was just
Well, not even just
gliding
that.
right by.
What you're talking about as far as the camera and taking pictures, you're also going to say we're now also in a digital era as opposed to a film era. You know, I mean, film is pretty much dying out. You know, and with the lenses and the overlays or the overlaps, and you say digital's a little more different than film, where it may not carry that over to the next shot because it's a digital picture, a high def picture, not a film exposure. Do you understand? It's sort of difference. But the other thing I've been hearing too was it could be reflection of the light or whatever else. But when I watched this video, if you watch this video real quick, when I was doing my frame up, I had it zoomed out all the way because this is what I was taught with the lens. You zoom it out all the way and then you focus that way. So that way when you zoom out, it's always constantly in focus. And that's what I was doing for my frame up. I zoomed in all the way and then zoomed out slowly. Again, taking the photograph thinking I was taking a picture, not a video. And then when I realized I started video, I stopped it right away. But that 7 seconds was amazing to watch it because I'm coming. My camera's not even moving if you watch the video. It's the figure
Right.
itself moving.
Yeah.
But
So
not
on
even
a
just
tripod?
that. I was on a tripod, learning the frame up. I was with my next door neighbor Steve and the curator at the time of Sagdaco's Manor. I've got the gentleman's name, and Steve was actually maybe a step behind me with the curator standing shoulder to shoulder with him. So these gentlemen were behind me, and when you look at the video, you know, if you understand shadows at all, like I'm looking at lights in here and I see the shadows on my coffee cup, they're coming different angles. The sun was high and obviously in a certain direction because you could look on one of those monuments, you could actually see the shadows angled. You know, so the sun was in that direction where the tombstone, when you were looking at it, it was against the tombstone.
So it's contradicting the angle of the sun. and stuff.
And not even just that, after, like you said, when it goes beyond the tombstone, if you're looking at the grass and the fence in between the two tombstones, you still see the shadow there.
Yeah.
So it really, I mean, a complete surprise.
I would. There's a lot of people that watch our site watch the video because we posted on that. Bellwood Paranormal is a paranormal investigator that lives outside this world. He said he thought it was a cloud casting, but then saw nothing on the ground. It disappeared by the time he got into the next grave. By the time it got into the next
So
tombstone.
you're going to get that. Everybody who's in the paranormal world is going to try and
Debunk it,
somebody
absolutely.
else's, and if you
Yeah.
can't do it,
But if you're
Then
looking,
you have
you're
something.
looking, you're looking right at Bellwood here. He's trying to debunk it, and he really doesn't have an answer for it either.
right?
So I mean, this is, and you got Christopher George on here, which is the same thing. He had taken a look at it. He told me, and they all thought it was amazing footage.
Well, here's the thing. You're talking to a guy, I love being a filmmaker. You know, I'm not here to put on a show for anybody. I love documentaries. I'm, you know, working on this film for Long Island has been a passion of mine, and my wife will tell you I'm out every day doing something in regards to Long Island. And as we now have probably close to 20,000 hours of footage to go through.
Wow.
It's a lot of footage.
Sure.
So as I'm doing the storyboarding in my head, I'm also looking at certain footages and certain things. I mean, you know, the Gardeners and the Thompsons are buried in Sagdaco's Manor, and you know, Gardeners Island, Gardeners Bay, you know, Gardeners Park. You know, this is the Gardeners family. Like, to me, that was an important spot to get on camera. Wasn't meant in any ideology whatsoever for paranormal videoing or anything. I wasn't looking. I was just looking to film historical, important places here on Long Island to point out, if not for the documentary film, but later on down the road for a continuing documentary series of Long Island. So debunk anything you could try to debunk. I'm not saying it's a ghost. What I'm saying is I don't understand what I saw. But what I saw in that video is not normal either.
Right.
And I'm not out here for the recognition or the press of it. I mean, I really, between you and I, I'd rather not be bothered with it. But it was interesting to see, and it's one of those moments. As a camera guy, as a filmmaker, they always say like they always want that one moment where they can get that money shot.
Right.
This particular one, not that I'm looking for it to be the money shot. I don't want that kind of fame or fortune entitled with, but it just happened to be. I was lucky that particular day, I think.
It's funny because you didn't ask to come on to the show, actually. Alien number 2 said to me, hey, you know what? You really should have him on the show. That's pretty cool footage and stuff.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what? Do me a favor. Text him that. Message him on Facebook and ask him. And then I called you on the phone. And I was like, listen, if you want to come on the show, please. We would love to be able to have you. And, of course, I wanted to ask your permission to be able to post it on
Absolutely.
the site. So tell us just a little bit about your documentary. What is that about? And that's Sawgrass Productions?
Sawgrass Productions, what we've done, I mean, there's a lot of things that have been done about Long Island from some reality shows to even other documentaries, but there are certain things of Long Island, not about Long Island in general. There's a lot of stereotypes and myths here that I don't like, that we're all rich, we're all famous, we're all, and then there are people that just absolutely, for some strange reason, don't like us. I mean, that's like me coming to your house and going, ew. I know the 2 bruises on my ass are going to be from your foot and from the front door, right? But I'm not here to kick anybody in the ass, and I'm not here to fight it. My wife will tell you I'm a lover, not a fighter. So my thing is let me show you the Long Island you don't know.
So true.
And no matter what, even if we come up with a 2-hour documentary, which you don't really want to do because you want to be able to captivate the audience throughout the whole thing, we're not even scratching the surface of what Long Island's really all about.
I want to interrupt you for a moment. It's funny that you say you're going to come up with a 2-hour documentary. You've been filming this for how long?
2 years.
2 years. You're going to come up with 2 hours. It's so bizarre too, because when we do try to film something, say for instance, those big Hollywood people do like a sizzle shot,
Right.
or do something that takes 4 hours. You're going to have like 5 minutes of video that's quality that you're going to use.
Right.
It's what the editing that you have to go through
Is
just to
unbelievable.
get a documentary. I do not envy you at all. Just like Angelo when he goes to EVPs, I'll throw the damn computer out the window before I'm going to sit there and listen to those things. I'm like, you're going to have to take that. I don't have enough medicine to be able to
I know.
take it.
I got a phone call the day after we went on the investigation. She calls me up. She goes, well, did you get anything? I said, we were there for an hour. It's going to take me 4 hours to go through.
Yeah, because you have to go through every little tiny
little thing.
frame.
Right.
Even you. Like, if a bird flies away, you actually have to wait for the bird to come
come
back
back.
again.
Yeah.
And take it again.
My wife and I, we were out east. I grew up in East Marion. We had a summer home out there. If you know the forks of Long Island, out on the North Fork, it's Greenport, East Marion, Orient Point to the end. And they Shelter Island across the way is a nature preserve. I remember as a kid back in the late 70s, early 80s, the ospreys were on the endangered species list. There was only not even 100 of them left. Now they're made a great boom, but their nests are out along Sunrise Highway, out along certain junctions of Long Island. And the only thing is to be patient, and because nature's not going to go on cue. You're not going to sit there and go action, and they're going to go, all right, I'm here. No,
But if you were Dr. Dolittle, that would work.
if I was Dr. Dolittle, but I am no Dr. Dolittle. As you noticed, when I walked in, the dog was barking. Evil when it comes around, animals go. But the cool thing about Long Island is there's so much to tell. There's so much history here, so much story. I think the sweeter thing about this documentary, not that I hope it ever happens, but you look at something like Hurricane Sandy, which was devastating to not even just Long Island, but our neighbors in the Jersey Shore, neighbors in Connecticut, and all along the coastline. But there's a wake-up call right there, because on News 12 they have this thing called The Next Big One, and they've been showing it all weekend. Right. I understand that, but really stop and think about where we are. We are on a 100-plus mile sandbar, is what we are, a sandbar.
Exactly right.
If the polar ice caps ever melted, there's going to come a time, hopefully not in our lifetime, Long Island will no longer exist. So almost in a weird way, 100 years from now, when you and I are long gone, this documentary is a piece of history. You know what I
Well,
mean?
you better put it in some
I
sort
love
of
it.
time
I
capsule.
love it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
No,
it
it's true.
doesn't-
You know, the
love
people
the
that
idea.
know Long Island, what do you think? The Hamptons.
Right.
Right? People
Right.
out
Yeah.
of New York State.
That's right.
That's
But
exactly what
there's a
they
lot
think.
of
They
missteps,
go
right?
in the Hamptons.
But it takes a while to get. It takes a long time to get
Get
there,
there.
and you have all this history to go through.
And not even just that, there are people that actually confuse the Gold Coast and the Hamptons. That they don't realize that these are two separate entities. You know, the problem with doing this documentary is we're going to start with an hour film. And we realize that there's just no way in God's green earth, like I said, are you scratching the surface of what Long Island's really about. From the social structures to the politics to the religion, just to the region and demographics and the schematics of south of Long Island. But what we can do is kind of like sound like an oxymoron, and I know it's going to sound like it, but do almost like a general specific. In other words, touch on a little bit of everything, but not get too much into details, maybe cover a few subjects like, obviously the Native American history is very huge here. Eventually, one of the subjects we want to touch on, for I think would be good for an episode, would be haunted Long Island.
Without.
You know, and I think we're
Your
experiencing
video?
technical difficulties here. So if we disappeared, that was me. That was my fault. Always blame it on the new guy. Don't you know that? Always blame it on the new guy.
You know, Angelo,
We might have to shut down one or two laptops.
I'll turn mine off.
I know the phone's
What were you
all
saying?
Wi-Fi too.
Haunted Long
Yeah,
Island?
well, there's a lot of haunted history here as well in Long Island. I mean, you're talking. I mean, again, you're talking to a guy, and Chris and Angelo will tell you, I'm a very skeptical guy. My wife will tell you, I need to really be poked or hit in the head with a ghost in order for me to believe it, so to speak. You know, and when I witness certain things and I don't know what to make of it, it's not that I automatically count it as there's a ghost right there or poltergeist. It's just something I can't explain, an entity as you call it. You know, so it's not that I don't believe, but for me I'm a skeptical guy. I need to see it to believe it, so to speak.
Right.
Here I physically saw something. I don't know what to believe of it, but I believe it because I caught it on camera.
Yeah.
You know, that much, you know. And in this day and age, everything, I mean, and I hope somebody can debunk it, actually. I'd rather find out what it is, have that closure.
What did you think when you first saw it, when you were reviewing it? What was your first
I
thought?
thought at first that maybe it was one of the two gentlemen I was already with. But again, when we film, if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. The graveyard is covered in a wrought iron fence.
right.
We were behind the fence. So even behind the fence, because that's
no
where...
one was moving.
No one was moving. The two gentlemen next to me were standing next to me speaking. In fact, if you listen to the clip with the volume on, you hear them talking because we were
Yeah,
talking about
I did.
why each monument was sort of different than the others, you know. I mean, and he was talking about we were starting to talk about the particular tall one that you see in the video. You know, and when you heard him saying toward this particular stone carving here is what he was talking about. But no movement at the time I was framing it up. And the other thing is we actually had the microphone on Steve and the gentleman. Again, as I was filming, we were going to let him describe, you know, each particular place we were filming in Sagatos Manor, you know, as we were filming it. That way, when I go to do the documentary, I don't have to sit there and spend time researching. I have it on film.
Was
Yeah.
he an historian?
What do you mean?
The gentleman you had with you, was he an historian?
No,
That
he
he
was
could
just
just
like
No,
Like
he
a
was
curator?
he was just a curator, just
Oh,
taking care of the
okay.
property.
Right.
But he does some of the tours there, I guess, when the schools have their day trips there, field trips there with the students. He's part of the staff that can give a tour. He is knowledgeable.
Let me ask you, I went into that building as Casper Paranormal, and I had asked him if it was okay if we went in there and took pictures. They kind of didn't allow that. Do you have any connections that we can actually go inside and maybe...
Well,
do
when I was
something?
there, I didn't go inside. I just filmed the outside. But I can probably speak to him. I don't know what'll come of it, but I'll find out.
If not, could we do an investigation outside again? I did an investigation there to all you police officers and all the FBI that are watching. I just went there at nighttime, and I broke through the wrought iron fence and I smashed it. No, I'm only kidding.
Like Superman.
It's all open. It's all open.
Hey,
You can-
I want to know, what did you think when you saw that? Like, what did you think it
Well,
was?
again, I saw I took that clip 2 years ago. In 2010, I took that clip, or 2011. It was a little over 2 years ago, I think I took the clip, right? And it wasn't until last week I started going through some of the different clips, and so it was my first time seeing it last week. So I didn't see it physically when I was filming.
Yeah, oh.
It wasn't.
Well, that's true with a lot of people. They go back and they don't know about orbs or anything else. now that they get into a little bit of the paranormal world and they see some things, they go back on their old pictures and they're noticing little balls of light in their pictures.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, this
and
wasn't
just to
little.
touch
You
base
wouldn't know
on
it.
orbs.
People
yeah.
think there was something on the camera.
Just to
back
take,
then.
but you know how we feel about orbs and stuff like that, and I get the more you get into paranormal and the deeper you get into paranormal, the less you believe in orbs. I get the more you get into filmmaking and the more you understand how cameras work, the less you believe in orbs. Just to remind everybody, if there is no lights on in the house and you take a picture and you still see a light, it can still be by the light reflection that the light is out, the hi-hat. The light bounces off and bounces back down again.
Dust.
Yeah, it could be anything. So,
Well,
but what you have is something totally different. It's a moving entity that's like floating
Right.
past this thing. That actually gives you the impression of floating.
Well, I heard one girl on Facebook was commenting that it's shadow reflection in the lens itself. What I know about cameras, when you look at lenses, they usually will have that flower cap at the end of the lens, and the purpose for that is to help deflect sunlight or certain lights or certain lens flare and whatever else. And again, if you really study that video, which I hope somebody does, I hope somebody could debunk that, you know what I mean? But if you really study this video, even with the flower I had on, the way the sun was, there was just no way that there was any reflection going into my lens to cause that, especially since I'm zooming out and I'm not moving the camera left or right and it's on an angle. It's a straight on shot zooming out, and this entity is moving from right to left when you're watching the video.
Yeah.
And so it's how it's a shadow. I don't know. Again, the only three people that were there, myself, my next door neighbor, and the curator. But I'm hoping maybe it was just that. I don't know what to make of it, but I watched this video off the tombstone, in between the tombstones, where the grass and the wrought iron fences, you still see it. And then almost as, like, going into the last tombstone, it kind of just, like, it found its home and boom, it's gone.
Right. It went to
So
sleep.
speak.
It went to sleep.
Real quick, I have to cut you off. You mentioned police and FBI, and I have a great story for you that you cannot make this up. My camera, which I'm still yet to get back from the last job I went on with you guys. Remember I left the night vision camera with that family? So anyway, that particular camera is a small camera. It's like the size of my cell phone. You see.
The GoPro.
No, it's not the GoPro. It was that night vision camera I had, that spy camera. Remember that it was
Right.
about this
Small,
big, right?
yeah.
And I used to roadie for a band, when I first got into the business. And I used to be done anywhere from like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, the van was always in Belmore, so I was always from Belmore to West Islip. For me, the best ride and the most beautiful scenic view is the Ocean Parkway.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I love it. Even at night, I love it.
Yeah.
And of course, unfortunately, recently, one of the things that Long Island is international news about is all the bodies being found along the way.
Right.
And it just became, if Hurricane Sandy didn't wipe out the rest of them, so to speak.
Right.
So anyway, right now, I'm here it is at 3:30 in the morning. I'm driving the Ocean Parkway, and I go, this is a beautiful strip of land. Let me get this on film, but it's night. I was like, let me use a night vision. It's still beautiful at night, So, and there's no lights along the Ocean Parkway. So I figured, in order to get the best use of the camera, turn off my car lights.
Oh yeah, that's great, Dan. That's a great idea.
Wait, no one. You understand? When you're on the Ocean
Jesus
Parkway,
Christ.
wait. Listen, this guy.
I've done it.
Wait. When you're, have you ever been on the Ocean Parkway
I've
after
been
1 o'clock in
on
the
the-
morning? No, seriously.
There's nobody there.
There's nobody there.
Right.
There's nobody on the road.
Except
so,
for the
Yeah,
deer
I
that you're
know,
gonna hit.
I know, except for the body.
Right, except for the bodies, and they're sleeping. So here I'm driving, and I have this camera out the window, sort of slightly tilted, so I'm catching the street and, of course, the shoreline.
Feeling
Yeah,
very
to the right of me is
comfortable, sure.
So I'm going about 15 minutes about doing this, and I'm like, this is pretty good. I'm just enjoying the breeze and whatever else. 15 minutes later, all of a sudden I see these lights and I hear, woo! I know what I'm getting pulled over for. It's because I'm driving without my lights on, and I probably doesn't know what it is in my hand. So as I'm walking, my car I pull over, the cop's right behind me, but the cop comes out about 20, 25 feet the opposite direction as he's walking towards my car. He wasn't walking next to me. He was walking
I
on
wouldn't
an
walk
egg
next to you either.
with his gun on his hand.
Oh yeah.
He's like, "Good morning." I'm like, "Hey,
his
good
hand
morning,
on the
officer."
gun?
Oh yeah, with his hand. With his hand on the gun. I said that backwards, right? With his hand on the gun. He's like, "Good morning." I'm like, "Yeah, good morning." He's like, "What are you doing?" and I'm, showing him like I'm filming in the strip of Ocean Parkway. I'm a filmmaker, and I'm actually doing a documentary film of Long Island. He's like, "Right."
Yeah, right.
He goes, "Okay, let me ask you a question." And as he finished that particular statement, right before the question, I look in the distance, there's lights. I look in the rear view, there's lights. This guy had backup coming. He had backup before he even turned his lights on. Because the question to me was, what's to say you're not the guy we're looking for?
Oh.
I knew immediately what he was talking about. My heart just dropped. I'm like, completely forgetting that.
He did say,
Long
excuse
Island,
me, dumbass, put your lights on,
Yeah.
and please drive safely.
Yeah, so, but no, it wasn't that. They had me up for quite a while making phone calls to some politicians, family members, vouching for who I was.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was.
Hands on the car, legs spread.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Can you tell how? Do you have a site that where people can see some? Because I know that you had posted some of your documentary,
Yes.
and I want people to be able to see that.
Our website is sawgrassny.com. You'll be able to look at. We have the trailer, the teaser trailer we put together.
Which I love that, by the way.
To entice, thank you, to entice the celebrities and the politicians. Because the funny thing about politicians is they don't know what you want to film them for. Everybody's skeptical, and then once they find out that it's something positive, and all of a sudden they don't stop calling you. You know, like I'm friends with people I never thought I'd be friends with, so to speak, or friendly, should I say? I'm gonna say friends, but friendly.
Yeah, right. Your acquaintances with these people that you never thought that you'd be shaking their hands and stuff.
Right. I mean, I'm meeting judges, which for me is a weird thing to meet a judge, shake a hand, and not actually be behind the bench on it.
Exactly. Saying, okay, you're in contempt.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but I mean. I saw it. I actually watched. I said to somebody, I mean, I've lived on Long Island my whole life, really, and I didn't know half of the shit that you said.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know half
Thank
of
you.
this stuff. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Is that true? I mean, you told me how you go into the demographics of everything.
Yeah.
You go into population. You go, what?
Bingo.
She's got to leave soon. Want you to sit her in
You have to leave soon?
5 minutes and take a
Okay,
break
we're gonna
from
get
this?
back to Dan. You stay right here. You can have a seat right here.
We have a
Come
special
take a
guest
seat.
in the studio.
We have another special guest.
Yay.
Let's hope that we. I mean, Angelo, you need to call Cablevision tomorrow. Keeps on
It
cutting.
was your idea to go back to cable.
I don't know who the hell told you that. I never said anything.
Yes,
like
you
that.
did.
Freezing.
I don't have this problem at home. I don't
I
know.
know. Well, they went the new system here and
I can't.
What?
Who's this?
Anne's being very difficult
That's
again.
okay. You could,
Okay, Angelo, take over. You can do the
Okay,
introduction.
we have a special guest. Actually, I've met her once before, but last night we were at my sister's house, and Monica is a friend of my sister. What?
What?
Let's say the name wrong? It's Monica.
What?
So
Alien number one's
she
got
was-
an
I know.
issue right now.
She
We
was
gotta-
talking to alien number one, and she happened to. You didn't bring the cards with you, right? Oh, you did. Okay. But the special deck of cards that she bought, and we thought they were tarot cards, but it wasn't. She
No,
says,
that's poker cards.
Oh, alien number one. Oh, by the way, my husband is into the paranormal. He does a show and the whole thing. So she came over and we talked for a while. And it goes to show that she's starting to learn how to be a psychic. She's going training classes, right? Is that what it is?
Beginning.
In the very beginning. And
Yeah, go ahead. You go.
Go ahead,
Go.
I got this.
Roll.
Relax.
Roll.
and I happen to ask, who teaches these classes?
Yeah.
Can
And
I
it
just butt
happens
in
to
for
be-
1 second?
Yeah.
I need to butt in for
Yes,
1
you do.
second. I'm down in Casadega, right? we had this discussion at dinner today. We're down in Casadega, and on people's houses it says certified psychic, certified
Yes.
medium. Okay, who's the dumbass that pays to be certified to speak to
that
dead
word.
people? All right, I want to know that.
That word.
And who is the guy that says, all right, yeah, you're good, you speak to the dead person? I mean, who can certify that you speak to a dead person?
The Wizard of Oz.
The person who thought of it, collecting all that money.
Right.
Yes, I
So,
give certification.
For all the...
Good business.
That dumbass is a
Yeah.
Right.
effing to the
Yeah,
bank.
really.
It's not a dumbass.
Huh?
It's
Right,
certified.
thank you. For all you dumbasses that are paying to be certified, I'm not
Dumbass.
going to pay.
Dumbass.
I'm going to be. I'm certifying myself that I do readings and I'm a psychic medium. I now certified myself. Boom, boom. I'm done. I'm going to make my own certificate. Thank you.
I need a sword. Can I knight you?
I know. I just had to say that. I can't believe
What does that
people
have
would
to
pay
do
that.
with Vincenzo?
Nothing.
We-
We're
we
getting
like
to that. You have to forgive Chris. You see.
I go off on these tangents. I don't, you know.
So as we met last, I asked her
I'm going to
who's
counseling.
training you. And she happened to mention the name. And I recognize this name. This is somebody I grew up with on the same block, a couple of doors away.
Can we say the name?
Her name is Vincenza. I'm not going to get the last name because we didn't get the okay for that yet.
Okay.
But I knew she was psycho, overnight psychic. But
Yeah, there you
all
go.
in all,
Well, that's me.
Monica is taking classes from her. So was this your first class with them?
I've taken 2 classes with her.
Okay.
Oh, so you're
Now-
almost certified. Right?
How
Has
did
the
you-
bell
How
rang.
did you know you had some kind of a gift before seeing her?
I've known it for years. I've gone to different psychics.
And-
I've gone to Mrs. Wayne in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
First time I was probably 19 years old. Do I have to tell my age now?
No,
Let's
not
just
at
say
all.
it's 20 years later.
Don't tell your age, no, honey, don't ever tell your age.
So
I'm 50.
you know,
it's just a
you
number.
know you've had this
So I've
gift.
been told over and over and over.
Have you done anything with this gift since
No, I
then?
have
Being
not.
told
Only in the class.
that you did nothing, never read anybody, never told anybody. Hey, look,
Only in the
I see
class.
something. Okay, and now you go to this class for the first time. How was your introduction to the class?
She was picking on me.
So somebody's
she
picking
felt
on me.
a lot. She felt a lot, and she kept redirecting anything that she was sharing with the class. She was redirecting towards me, and she had us write down our birth date and our sign and put it in a little basket. And before I even picked one, this is so we were reading other people who were there in the class. I knew who I had, and it's pretty
The only
interesting.
one.
Is this something that you're thinking about doing
I'm sorry.
all the time now?
Well, it's something I'd like to learn how to use. If I have something, I want to know why I have it and how it's going to help me or help other people.
So, out of curiosity, because I'm not in any of this, but out of curiosity, how do you know what type of ability that you have? I mean, obviously there's varying degrees of what your psychic.
That's correct. You could be
abilities are.
psychic medium, psycho.
that's me.
Not.
I'm probably a psycho, but
Yeah, right.
But I'd like to know what it is. I was able to read things on other people that were in the class, the teacher and another person who happened to be there.
So
I just
besides
need to
undressing
interrupt.
me with your eyes, what are you reading me?
Wait. I just want to let you know, if anybody hears a dog, it's really not a dog, it's alien number 1 and alien number 2. That's how they communicate. Just letting you guys know. They talk back and forth in dog language.
Let's go to class number 2. What-
Wait.
Number 2, she wants us all to have cards. She told us in the first class.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go to the story of the cards.
Yeah, I
before
want to
you-
see those cards.
No. It's a story with it. Real. Go ahead.
Would you like me to tell my card story?
Want to tell?
Please.
Yeah, let's tell the story real quick.
Okay. I went to Nordstrom the Rack. It just opened in October. I didn't know it was there. I discovered it when I went to Overton Mall. At the counter, they have baskets of toys and things, and I found this box of 3D cat cards. So I thought I'd probably like it more if it were dogs, but for some reason I thought it'd be cute. So the next day in the office, I take the plastic off. It's sealed inside the box.
Throw away the jokers.
Well, that's the whole thing of
Don't
these
you-
cards. No, I'm saying that's the whole thing of these cards. I
So
wasn't going
they're
there.
3D pictures of cats.
Let me see the
All
cats.
different types of cats. White cats, red cats,
Oh, my mom's
green
calling.
cats, purple cats, all kinds of cats.
I
Okay.
love those cards. They're beautiful.
So
Me too.
some are cuter than others.
Aw.
Okay, now go to the
So-
story.
Then there was this one. That's not a cat. That's an English bulldog.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
And
It's a joker.
it's 3D
joker.
cats, but then there's a black poodle.
Hmm.
Well, to make a long story shorter, I have a black poodle named Sailor Moon.
Hmm.
Oh.
And before I had Sailor, I had an English bulldog named Lucy for 11 years. So,
Pretty wild, isn't it?
in my
Yeah.
That
different
is
cards.
cool.
So, obviously, like you say, when you go to the store
Right.
to get tarot cards, cards are actually going to talk to you.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what must have happened with
Exactly.
those.
Nice.
Do you use those cards for readings?
No,
I
the playing
haven't
cards.
used them for readings yet. I'm just sharing my story.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
I like
You like that?
Yeah,
You like that
So it has a
story?
regular
I just
deck
thought
of
it's-
playing
that's a good
cards.
story.
Yeah, no, don't worry about cheats.
For you it is.
Don't worry about
Okay.
that.
All right, so wait.
Okay.
You said something that was good. Here's my question to you. Do you? Let's just find out who this human is. Oh, they just hung up.
Mom, is that you?
No, it's Illinois.
I don't think it's a sign.
It's Illinois.
They're calling for her.
All right. Anybody that's calling in for a reading right now, hold on to your pants. We'll do that in a little while. Be patient.
Unless you have a belt.
But here's the question. Could you look at somebody, seeing that we're still recording, but we're not airing at this moment, but it'll record back in YouTube. So, but when you look at somebody, can you tell what they're saying, or do you read about people do you feel people who have passed? This is a very significant question.
No.
And that's not
I
one of the
don't
answers.
think that I'm feeling that people have passed.
Okay.
I
Have
get
you been
more-
able to communicate with people that have passed?
No, but I would like to.
I guess we all would.
She's in training.
Okay, but have you been able to read about people's current state?
In the class I was able to.
Okay, so Dan's question was, what do you feel about Dan?
I think he's super.
She's certified.
Certifiable.
Very good.
Very good.
She's sharp.
You know,
Mind you, I just want to let you know, everything about Dan is about Superman. All right, just to let everybody know.
but you know why though, right?
All I know is that you're crazy. That's all I got to say.
That's a given. The thing I love about Superman, I grew up with the ideology of loving Superman for what he represented and what he meant. And basically, the symbol, for me, people put up post-its and hey, you're a wonderful person, have a great day. You can do it. Like, for me, the symbol is a reminder of what I can be. So I wear it proudly every day. No, I don't have a costume and a cape at home, but I do have a nice pair of underwear with a cape to it.
We saw that. We saw that, by the way.
Yeah, see,
we
witnesses,
saw it.
witnesses.
Underwear.
Tell me that wasn't great. My wife bought me a nice pair of Superman underwear with a little cape to it.
Just
Love it.
mind you, I didn't. Wait.
Wait, right?
Wait. I need to clear something out, Ann. I need to clear something up. I didn't see his underwear like in person.
No, he did
All
not.
right?
No, everybody.
It's
the
something
world
that he
saw it.
It was
posted.
in the laundry.
All right, because you lost a bet or something like that.
I lost a bet and I posted it and I had to go out in my underwear. Well, there was a thing on Facebook that was going around saying that the world didn't end.
That's right.
The next day I would go out in my underwear and yell out I'm alive. Of
Right.
course, I'm the only schmuck in the world that did that.
Right, and Cablevision also.
Well, either that or I was the only guy that survived. Everybody else died.
We're out again.
I'm constantly getting a call from Illinois.
Well,
Hang on.
Yeah, let's go. We'll finish up because she has to leave. So, we'd like to follow you as you progress,
Yeah.
and we would also like you to ask Vincenza if she would like to join us one day.
I will.
Good.
All right.
Yeah,
And I want to be your first
love.
subject.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's more of my dreams that I want to know more about, so we'll get to that.
Oh, that dream you had with the people.
We'll get to it next time.
Okay.
You want to know about dreams? You ask alien number 2.
I looked it up. She told me about her dream.
She's
yesterday.
all
I
about
found
dreams. This woman. She's a nut. In a
define
loving
home.
way. Now I'm gonna get my ass
We're
kicked.
still.
when I get home. Yeah, no,
still
that's all right. But
broadcast.
it is still recording, so we'll play this back. But thank you very much for coming.
Thank you
And,
so much.
nice
we'll
meeting
be
you.
following
luck,
you.
and I know you'll succeed.
Thank you.
It's great.
Now we're going to get back and if this gets to somebody that's works for Cablevision, you guys suck.
Yeah.
Just
Going
so
back
you
to
know.
Verizon.
Unless Angelo gets a free
Susan.
month.
Okay.
Unless Angela gets a free month.
Still can't be as bad as Liper.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But
Wow. I still can't see either.
yeah, we are
Maybe we should wait to that so the lights don't go off.
we are reconnecting.
Can they hear us?
Well, no, we're recording anyway.
Right.
But
Can they hear us? Good.
KBLS Houston, Odyssey Houston, we have a problem.
it's
That's
trying
the
to connect, as you can
There we
see.
go.
It's not connecting.
You know, it's funny. On your phone, you have that alien ringtone, and my wife and daughter is still trying to figure out if I'm human or not. I mean, I'm an alien, just not of another planet, just from another country.
That's right.
You know, but according to my wife, they've never seen me bleed. I
Well,
do
we can
bleed.
arrange that, but I mean, you know,
Bleed.
Oh, is that? No, I'm a crabby bitch. I'm a Cancer with a
You know what?
bad
I
moon
was
rising.
thinking, Santa,
Yeah.
right off the bat until you said you weren't.
Okay,
normal.
let's get into this. Wait, in your documentary,
All right.
did
Yeah.
you get to Shinnecock yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay. I, as a child, every single year went to Shinnecock.
Okay.
All right. My father always took me there. I'm of the Pennacook Indian tribe. You know, my
Yes.
ancestors are from there. So we always went to the table of the Pennacook Indians. You know, always loved it. Always thought it was a wonderful thing. That's on your documentary too?
It will be, yes.
All right, but
Shinnecock,
is it
yes.
now?
Well, it's going to, again, we're in the
I
post-production.
remember you saying something about you were the only one that was really allowed to do something in that
The
area.
powwows that they have, I mean, again, the Native American history culture is very, very strong. I mean, pretty much most of Long Island's named after Indian tribes. 2 reservations left in Long Island alone, Poosbetook and Shinnecock.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting about these powwows is, I mean, they're there for the public, yeah, absolutely. But the particular circle, the drum circle as they call it, you know, it's only allowed for the members of the tribes, you know, involved in the powwow. They don't even, certain parts at the beginning of the ceremony, and I think even at the end of the ceremony, they don't allow pictures or video to be taken because they feel it to be sacred, or it's almost kind of like a religious thing for them. You know, and I understand that. For some strange reason, this asshole in the hat, excuse my French, because that's what everybody calls me. I had become very friendly with a couple of tribal leaders there, one of them being Lance Combs. And next thing I know, I'm actually not only in the circle itself, but I was given permission to film. You know, and because I'm doing the documentary of Long Island, showcasing, because the Shinnecock.
We have some really, we have some rowdy individuals in the audience right now, and maybe would you like to come on and tell us why?
Come on.
Come over
Tell
here.
us why. Why did they pick him?
Sorry,
Have a
women.
seat.
Wait. Sorry, women. I don't mean to break your heart, but here is my wife.
All right,
Welcome.
alien number 3.
The reason they picked him was because he is half Native American, and they thought that they know that he's not going to ruin anything of their culture.
Okay, but not to get too personal, what half is Native American?
I can't tell you that.
Okay, I was just curious.
That's
The other
The
half.
better half.
The other half.
The
What's
better
the
half.
other half?
Vietnamese.
Yes.
What
What a mixture that is.
Well, here's the
Mom,
great
and-
thing.
and you were born
I'm
there?
Amerasian. I was born in Vietnam. I arrived here at January 21st, 1973. I was 2.5 years old. And I was adopted into a German-Irish family. My mother made me take Latin in high school.
You're a mess.
The entire planet yells at me in Spanish, but I should have been Italian.
Oh
I
my
could have been
God.
somebody, you know what I'm talking
Hey,
about.
yo.
Could have been
How
a
do you know
contender.
what your heritage is if you were adopted?
DNA test. They were even able to break it down a little bit as far as the interesting thing with the DNA test. Here's where it gets interesting for me. If you know anything about the history of Vietnam, the French have occupied that territory for about 400 plus years. You know, we are allies with the French. At the time, the communists, the north and the south of Vietnam were going to their war. The French were backing up the south, you know, and of course, we being allies with French were there. So they did find a little French DNA in me. So the Vietnamese is not a pure Vietnamese culture, actually, believe it or not. A lot of it's actually Indo-Chinese culture. You know, the language is not a Vietnamese language, it's an Indo-Chinese kind of language with the French mixed in it. So when you look at a lot of those Vietnamese women, they look almost like porcelain dolls. Why? Because they have that French blood in them. You know, and then the other part, the Native American, they also found some Mexican DNA.
Now, when you went to get the DNA, you went there on the blind date. Did you give them any information at all? What?
They told me not to, really, actually.
good. Okay.
When I was out in school in UCLA in California, I went to a
Film school?
what's that? No, I actually, believe it or not, I went for fine and performing arts, but nothing dealing with communications or media. You know, and more for drawing and painting. So when they had the test on too, they found some Mexican DNA. Now the tribe that they think I come from is Comanche tribes, and in the Comanche history, when the states finally became the states is when the Comanches became the Comanches. But prior to the U.S. becoming the United States of America, the Comancheros of Mexico, the Comanchero tribes, had their civil war, so to speak, and they split. Those that were on the side of the U.S. when it became the U.S. became the Comanche tribes of the Apache nations, so to speak.
Because I'm looking to have that done, the DNA.
Yeah. Don't tell them anything.
The hell,
Because
dude?
you told me I
Let
have
me tell you something.
some kind of Indian heritage in my
So you
That's
blood.
right.
returned back
So I would like to
with
find
your
out.
homeland,
Yeah, it's
basically.
called the Italian Indian heritage.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I also have
I mean,
That's
French blood
interesting.
also.
It is, you know. Yeah.
What
I mean-
are you?
And at night,
What
when
do
he's
you-
sleeping, he talks in Native American language.
She says I do.
I've taped it.
And you
She's
don't.
taped it.
And he
You
doesn't
never-
fake it. No.
You should try to reconnect
And
with
he
your-
doesn't
with
fake
your-
it?
because they're
Doesn't
you know
sneak it.
they're very
Oh.
planning.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Understand what you're saying.
And
The
I
hard
should
part
really
with this is
try to-
the Native Americans
back to
nowadays,
where
and I
you
know I'm going
came
to cause controversy
to
saying
your
this.
Wait,
Native
wait,
Americans
controversy, I like
nowadays
it.
are very
Mixed.
what's a nice word? No, what's the nice way? Very uptight. They really are. You know, when you kind of look at some of these reservations, I mean, they're a big disappointment too. What we know is
Yes.
what we see in the movies and what history shows of the teepees, and you know, Dance with Wolves was a pretty good close depiction of what it was really like to be Native American. Nowadays, it's all broken down. It looks like, you know, the Native American version of a projects. It really is. I mean, a lot of these people have lost their spirituality or their touch with Mother Nature, Mother Earth, or
It's
even
not
with
the
themselves. It's not. It's no way near the same. And you look at this day and age. I think they feel. I mean, the ones that I've met, you know, a handful of them are okay, but it seems like the majority of them feel that the government owes them something.
Not only that, but I've also found out, I have relatives that live on reservations.
Right.
I found out, no, a lot of them are very much into alcohol now,
Right.
very much into drugs now. Because, just so you know, on a real reservation, the regular police do not go onto it, okay? They
Right.
have their own police. And having relatives that live on the reservation tell me that, oh my God, they kind of run rampant. I mean, they really do.
They don't call them police. They call them council members.
Yeah, whatever they do.
Right.
They just say, okay, give me your stuff so I can take it, you know. But it's not the same as it was before.
No.
They had
definitely not.
pride. Just like America is not the same as it was before.
Right.
We used to be Americans and we had pride in America. It has changed and it has evolved into, oh my God, we have to make sure that we're politically correct about everything now. Instead of being Americans, we now are so worried about hurting other people's feelings. I say, let's go back to America. That's what I say.
Easier said than done, but I do agree with you.
I know.
I do. I mean, you look at these reservations, and I mean, they're basically letting the government take care of them.
Right.
You know, we can see how well the government's doing, huh?
Yeah.
Taking care of our own. So, you know, I think what the people forget is that, you know, or what the government tends to forget is, you know, the people. You know, the problem is you have so many politicians in big government, big office, is that when you have so many representing different types of people, I mean, just look, I mean, what I'm learning about doing this documentary of Long Island, if you take any entity, culture, event, venue, fad, trend, whatever it may be, religious, political point of view, this point of view, that, you take that and wrap it all in one and put it right in Long Island. That's what we have here. 7.5 million people live here. We have people from like Mormons to, all different types of political parties to different political review. I mean, the Barrier Islands, Fire Island alone. You know, when you watch that documentary, Modern Tide, it goes to tell. It's a clear point of view about how even different sections of Fire Island are cliques of whatever. This is the Mormons. This is the Jewish part of it, and this, you know, the country has a lot of different types of people. Different. I mean,
Diversity.
if I go down south, the people in the Bible Belt will absolutely hate me. You know what I mean? If I go to like the Mormon country, if I don't do by what they do,
Yeah.
I mean, these people are serious people. You don't want to offend these people in the wrong way. Lots of different cultures, lots of different people representing these different cultures. So our government tends to get lost in that whole wrap up of being for the people. And the other thing I think is the fault is the people. People want to blame the government, but the problem is I've learned in this day and age is everybody finds it easy to bitch, moan, and complain than to do something about it. And that's the truth. And the joke I make about this is, you know, one of the greatest sayings, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Right.
And I think people have lost sight of that.
No,
I don't
it's
think
opposite.
it's opposite. I think people expecting this country to do something for them while they sit and do nothing. And you can't be like that. I mean, us being in the field that we're in, whether it be paranormal or filmmaking, whatever it may be, we hustle, we work. You know, we try to make a name for ourselves and make a living. You know, we don't depend on anybody to do it. And so many people out there that are doing the same thing. But when you take those hundreds of thousands of people, that's just only a handful compared to the millions and billions of others that are out there doing nothing.
Right.
You know,
And still want something.
right. And the joke my wife and I always make is, we wish if we had $1 for everybody that not only complained and bitched and moaned about this, but actually had a viable solution, we probably have like $4, you know, because nobody ever really has a solution. You know what I mean? But
I
you know,
agree.
it's funny how laziness has
me
become a
too.
big part of this world. My grandfather used to tell me as a kid, he'd never thought there'd ever be a day where technology would surpass humanity. Now, in our lifetime, our
So
daughters, our
true.
children's lifetime, probably even our grandchildren, and I think in the rest of the existence of human and mankind, there will be never be a day where humanity will surpass technology. And that's
I
the truth
agree.
of it. That's the truth that this world
Now
has
they're
gotten so
talking about
backwards.
cars that actually
That's
drive
it.
themselves.
That's
Right,
it.
park themselves, and I mean, one of the things we were laughing at,
Wow.
not that it's funny, but
Wow.
the irony is they're actually taking cursive writing out of school.
Really?
So
Yeah.
they have already in some schools. They've taken cursive scripted
I
writing
always
out.
hated that,
Yeah,
actually.
they took it out of our daughter's
Faster,
school.
though.
Wow.
You know, and the sad part is, how are our kids going to
I
sign
actually
their
just talk
checks?
into the computer. when I
Exactly
type
right,
it.
Why do you think
Well,
that?
that's another thing.
Because
Wow.
it's not.
She doesn't know how to write scripts.
No,
Yeah.
that's another thing.
That's crazy, right?
Well, what did you just say? Now
No,
all
I
you
know.
have
Uh,
to do is
you know what's
That's why I
becoming?
said
You know what's
it.
becoming common and acceptable now?
Dragging naturally
Text,
speaking.
text
What,
codes.
Beach Street?
Really?
Yeah, when you go to some of these schools, text codes are actually okay now. Like, so you can put on your, paragraph, tell us a little about something about George Washington. Oh my God, LOL, OMG, George Washington did the, and that would be acceptable. It's,
Right.
it's almost a sad state. My wife and I, when we take our daughters to the playground, we actually point to the playground and we tell our daughters, you see that? Like, yeah, that was our PlayStation. You know
Right,
what I mean?
exactly,
When
that's
we
true.
wanted friends, we actually had to go out, knock on doors and find
Yeah.
them. Hi, can John come out
Hey.
and play?
I gotta tell you something.
Just like you just said. Now
That's
all you have to do
social.
is talk into the computer and it types for you.
Everybody's texting. They're
Wait.
not knocking on the door.
Listen,
That's social
I have a
interaction.
5-year-old.
Do your homework?
I have a 5-year-old that has an iPhone, an iPad, and an iPod.
Ay, Mia. You know
My
what I mean?
daughter,
Ay,
my
ay, ay.
daughter tangos me, which is like FaceTime.
Uh-huh.
Tangos us, and we talk to each other on the iPhone.
She knows how to work it better than we do.
Yeah.
Right? It's just out of control.
Right.
Yeah.
The technology these kids have, and in another 10 to 15 years, these cars are going to be floating. These people are going. It's just going to be. I find it exciting, but it's
Now that you say that, two of the richest people in the world. Are you ready for this? This is where people will never forget me as your guest. First richest person. Anyone who can invent and or create anything that can make the lazy American any more lazier than he or she already is would be a rich person. Second richest person is the one that can get the stick out of everybody's ass. 'Cause at one point or another, we all got one stuck up there. Some people, there's just no help.
We have to invent the tool?
Yeah, some people, yeah. They call them psychiatrists. I'm still coming up with another name
the
for them.
stick remover.
Yeah, but it's true. I mean, stopping this thing, but technology is going to be to blame for a lot of things. I mean, I look at my daughters alone, and I look at sometimes how they get upset because of something somebody said, or they're looking at another picture of one of their friends with another friend that they don't like. It's almost like our kids don't know how to communicate anymore. Like, we're sitting here having a good conversation. Yeah, granted, we're filming, but we're sitting here having a conversation. We're enjoying each other's presence. Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch my daughters sit next to their friends, sit next to each other, texting.
Yeah.
Each other.
Yeah,
know.
to
Each other.
I
So
know.
in this lifetime,
I know.
all I can tell you, in this lifetime, we've witnessed,
true.
in our lifetime at least,
Yeah.
we've witnessed two evolutions. If everybody knows what the definition of evolution is some kind of drastic or major change that is not of the norm or something new, beginning something evolving.
Right.
First is technology, obviously. I remember when I was in high school, not that I'm old, I'm 42 years young. I graduated high school in '89, Southside in Rockville Center, and computers were just becoming a thing. By the time I finished college, they were the mainstream, But that's the first evolution. Second evolution is this. Everybody looking? This used to be our primary digit. Now these, our primary digit.
Oh my gosh.
So we are witnessing evolution as we speak.
You're
And
crazy.
and everybody just thought I was some dumb schmuck in a hat.
With an S.
Finesse.
Superman.
S didn't mean
I'm
stupid.
upset about the person
It means
writing.
schmuck. That's what it says. But one day I would love to be able to do an investigation with you. Maybe you can film the Sagnicos Manor investigation again. maybe we can actually pick something up.
Right.
We have a camera that's really pretty cool that is infrared. It's night vision.
Yeah, we
The
just
place I want to go, and I think you guys said you have been there before, but it's been a dying dream of mine. I don't care, asbestos and all. I don't care. Get me a mask.
Pilgrim State.
Pilgrim State.
Oh,
Absolutely.
let's go there.
Absolutely.
Springtime.
Basement.
And I don't want to. And I don't want to do a night. I want to do a few nights there. Like really. Like I want to
Camp
hit the
out in the
heart of this
basement.
place.
Springtime.
Yeah.
Springtime. We got to get Robert to make some phone calls on that.
Yeah. If not, listen. If not, we can.
No.
Break in.
Not me.
Oh, you don't
But
have
there's-
to go.
where's that-
He's not going.
It's
I'll
not
go home
scary.
and watch,
No. I
love
would definitely
that
go.
place.
I'll bring back the
He's the
video.
one that goes out during the hurricanes and the storms. I told
Yeah.
him next time
Yeah,
you do
I
something
do.
like
Yeah,
that, I'm
remember.
taking insurance out on you. At least it's
Maybe
not
you
that.
We were already there. We lived.
But
Well,
if
I
you look
lived.
at some of
Angelo
my
did.
film
I
footage,
lived.
I got some great footage
I
Of
running through
Sandy?
his tunnel.
of Sandy. Yeah.
You got the
Have
two
you been
people
able to
with
get over
us.
to Fire Island and see what happened to devastation?
No,
over
I have
there?
not. Oh, I have not been able to get there. I've gone to Staten Island. I've hit parts of Queens. I haven't gotten to Long Beach, even though I pass it. But on the day of the hurricane, I actually made it to the border. I made it to Bell Terrace.
Really?
Bell Terrace, right?
Howard Beach.
And caught some of that devastation there too. I almost got hit by a couple falling poles. A couple transformers blew out above me.
I'm going to.
My car got caught drifting once or twice. I was kissed.
Practical. Yeah,
But I got some great footage.
I bet.
Everybody was gearing,
Are you
buckling down.
careful
I was
when you
gearing
do
up.
these things?
I'm always careful.
Just so you know, in Pilgrim State, the scariest thing is to watch out for the living.
Yes.
Because when
Yes.
you go, no joke. Dealing with the dead people are fine. It's the living. We went in there and we actually saw. You can actually watch it on an investigation. You can see the mattresses where the homeless sleep,
Right.
and they can come up behind you with a pipe and boom, and it's pitch black.
Right.
All right, so you go there at night. We snuck in with permission from everyone, of course. Really, no, just kidding. But we snuck.
We had
in.
permission.
Yes, we had permission from
I
the
give you
spirit.
permission.
I swear, listen, if we could be certified, there was a certified spirit that told us we were allowed in there. So you
We
talk
got the
to him.
okay.
And we got a picture of him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk to him. But and by the way, the stick up the ass. This is a paranormal show. It's a crystal.
Oh, okay.
It's a crystal that's up the ass.
Yeah, but this one of mine, because this will give you energy, right?
Yes, yeah. So that'll shoot you right out.
Maybe that's a trick.
So, but anyway, that's what I was worried about. Is about that the alien, not the alien. Really, I'm thinking the alien across the hole here. But the living person that's in that was on that mattress. Where are they now? Did they not come home yet? Or because it was empty? So I'm kind of worried about them coming
Right.
back.
I want not to only do that, but there was also another one I caught on one of your YouTube shows. I forgot where it was. That
King
cemetery.
Oh,
Angelo knows about it.
Potter's Field.
Yeah, I want to go there
With that plaque.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Oh, that was
I
major.
I'm sure there's. I mean, I've read so many horrifying, horrific, like
They would just kind of
outrageous
throw it
stories
into
of
the
Pilgrim
field.
State, and without even a number or anything, and they
Right.
would do it as not even one or two bodies. Like they would just do it in clusters. Like if there was a bunch of them that died, they just buried them all together.
Well, there's
Right.
a
You don't
road
throw 'em
out
in there.
east that disappears.
There's a road out east
What
that
do you mean?
disappears.
Yes. There's a road that certain things happen to you when you're on that road, but nobody knows where it is. Remember when we were reading that?
Yeah, they're saying the
What, by
car
Mary's
rolls on its
grave?
own, or turns on or off your radio.
No,
Oh,
that's,
no,
Mount
that's-
Misery.
That's Mount Misery.
We did an investigation on there that is on YouTube also. Go to whatever. Go to my CasperParanormalResearch.com and click on the videos, and you'll see the Mount Misery Sweet Hollow Road investigation.
Right.
That's where
I
the
don't
cars
think it was
move
Sweet
by
Hollow
themselves.
Road, though.
That's where it
only-
usually happens.
that's
It's
where it happens.
Under the bridge.
Sweet Hollow Road is out east.
Under the Northern State Parkway.
No, west of.
Remember, under the Northern State
Yes.
Parkway.
No, but there was one that we saw. It was out east. They still don't know the street. The road.
The one out by.
You can see the road.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh no, I'm talking about the car.
No,
The car-
That's the
and
one in
road,
Smith.
everything.
Smith
Where is it? I want to go to that.
You know, Calverton.
St. James?
Yes, let her go.
St.
Yeah.
James, yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah,
Because if the
Mary's
road
grave.
disappears, maybe she will too.
It's out in Calverton. but
I'm
they
gonna
don't
go
know.
with them.
They don't know where though. Because
Just-
when it happened.
For the listening audience, by the way, they keep mentioning Alien 1 and Alien 2. You don't see Alien 1 and Alien 2, what they're calling aliens. I happen to see two gorgeous women. So, you're not seeing what I'm saying. Their eye
we
candy.
did call her
their
alien
eye candy
number 3,
for me.
so I don't know.
I mean, my wife. No, my wife and I have such a great relationship. We're already in love. There's no arguing that. But,
And we are too, but
you know,
she's still an alien.
but
No, he's the alien out of the whole group.
I think my wife wants me to cut myself actually live on your show to see if I bleed for one.
You know what, dude?
Yeah,
That's awesome ratings on our end. So.
Tattoos,
We're gonna wait till we get
and
back
even
up
with
Yeah.
live.
tattoos, we can't confirm that he's bled.
All right, wait a minute. I'd like you to do a
Superman.
reading for me. Can you do a reading
Yes.
for this young lady right here?
Yes, for
Okay.
Susan.
All right.
So why don't we switch seats?
No, I can be here.
No.
No,
You
no,
gotta
I
be-
have to be
I'm gonna move.
Oh,
All right.
Actually, you stay there.
You want me to stay?
We're gonna switch seats, her and I.
And I'll
We're gonna
move
take this out of the way.
Good. Susan, are you a
Is there any more
Taurus?
coffee?
No.
What is your sign?
Tiff,
What's your sign?
Sagittarius.
want to grab the cup for me?
The moon's in Sagittarius too.
Okay.
Is that good or
Yeah,
bad?
but that means you're in your lunar high.
I like it like my wife, light and sweet.
I have French vanilla down there.
Maybe a little French vanilla then. You're gonna put some.
Just French vanilla.
Do you have regular milk?
Sugar about this much.
Just so you know,
All right,
most
so
of this
a
is
little bit of
gonna
French
have to
vanilla
be
and,
added.
and 4 sugars,
It's
please.
just I'm not even.
Thank you.
Look, it's not even. It's recording. We're
Yeah.
recording.
It's
so-
recording, it's just not showing here.
Right. So we're gonna record. Everybody, you get to watch it on live stream. You get to watch it on YouTube. It's gonna be flooded all on. By the way, Paranormal A&E.
Yeah, I work at a school.
They love me because I constantly post things on their site.
Have you heard any feedback from them?
No, but they love me. It's the fact that I constantly post things on their site that I'm not supposed to. But that's that. Until you cut me off, I'm going to continue on doing that. So
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have a reading here.
I'm gonna have to concentrate. There's a lot of energy in this room tonight.
yeah,
Good energy or
I'm
bad
tending to
Good
think it's the
energy,
food
just
that we
all
ate.
over the place.
Really?
Well, so we
Don't
do
tell what
have
we had.
a couple of entities, first of all, we're married to Murphy.
Yes,
so,
he's my best friend.
Yeah,
I live
Murphy's
with
Law,
Murphy.
right.
Murphy's Law.
So,
anything
I
can
did
go
get
wrong,
myself
go
out of a
wrong.
speeding ticket. Well, actually,
That's
that
my
wasn't
life.
speeding. I was in the HOV lane. I got pulled over by, Suffolk County Police. And the guy's like, you know why I pulled you over, right? And I said, oh, yeah, absolutely. And then he's looking at me. He's like, you look like you're about to tell me something. I was like, yeah, well, do you want the truth? You want me to lie to you? He's like, well, what's the truth? Which was a lie, anyway. I thought of something. The only thing I could think I'm part of my sister's wedding party, and I'm late for that rehearsal. And he's like, okay, and what's the lie? I was like, I'm a paranoid, delusional schizophrenic, and my friend is sitting right next to me. The cop actually did this. Then I got that same response. He's like, that was good, that was original. Get the hell out of the HOV lane. This one's on me, and stay out.
Oh my God, good for you. All right, I want
That
you
is
to take
very
these
funny.
cards and into your
So
left
it'd be
hand
good for
and
you,
put
especially
them
since
three
you're already in the
cards to
business.
Yes,
Big,
I have my card. I have everything.
Hey, I was gonna be sitting next to you.
I got a
for
dead
one
guy
minute.
sitting right next to me. Yeah,
Exactly.
here
Yeah.
it is.
Hey, listen, I think it's better than a mannequin.
Yeah, that's true.
Does it matter if they're big or small? Or
No,
does not?
doesn't
Okay.
matter.
That's what I'm told. It doesn't matter if it's big
So
or
I'm gonna
small.
do
So how it
past,
works.
present,
How it's
and
worked.
future.
Okay. If it's bad, don't tell me.
Nothing's bad. Everything's. I don't see it's bad. Anything bad.
Good. I've had enough bad.
Okay.
Thank you, thank
In
you,
the
thank you,
past,
thank
it
you,
looks
thank you.
like,
Thank you.
this either could be you. I don't know if it's you or someone around you that's making some really like hard and fast decisions based on logic and reason more than like real emotion and feeling and compassion. Like somebody in your life. I don't know if it's your mother or a woman or you. I don't think it's you
No.
though, because I don't think you're like that at all. But somebody's that's making some decisions that you don't really. Just like, wow, okay, that's like, like I'm a human being here. Like you don't have any compassion towards this. Just like a hard and fast decision based on logic and not on any kind of any emotion. And what is happening now is there's a bit of a rift with, I don't know if it's you and someone else or in the family, like a split, like a separation that you're just not seeing eye to eye. You had an argument with somebody or something is just split apart, because here it's like something has erupted and it's like something that's been brewing or bubbling is now burst wide open and you're looking at it. But from these things, it's really going to give you strength. It's going to make you a lot stronger because you're going to know, or you're just going to, you're just gonna gather up your courage and you're gonna feel really strong, and it's gonna give you wisdom, and it's gonna give you strength. These things that happen to you are not gonna hurt you. It's actually gonna make you stronger and wiser, and you'll be better off for it because you'll know, and you'll know that you're strong and you can take it.
She's strong. Because she's
Wait,
very
is that all
weak.
3 cards?
Yes.
Really?
What was the last card?
No. Do me
1,
a
2,
favor.
3. What?
No, Dan's very good at this. Dan, just say one number.
7.
Okay.
No, she can't count that high.
This is my favorite card in the deck. I always say this about this card. This is a card of healing. It's like you, and you're gonna have a lot of healing coming your way, and you are really gonna feel this card because you're gonna feel better. You will. I always do every time, and I always think, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen this time. I'm not gonna. It's not. But I do. It's like you, everything that you know and all your knowledge. It's like all encompassing, and you're just gonna feel better. You're gonna be like, I'm okay. This is gonna be okay. I feel better. I have a new understanding of what's going on around me.
I hope you're right.
And I am right. This is your husband. He picked the 7. This is.
All right, just so you know, the husband picked the card, but the reason why this man is smiling is I've learned one thing when it comes to marriage. I can be right, or I can be happy.
Right, exactly.
I'm a very happy man. So, okay, the card's right.
You're right. It
Does
would be
this
nice
reading make
to-
sense
The
to you?
deck was not stacked, by the
Does
way.
this make sense to you, this card? Because I feel like you weren't getting
that
it.
card, I don't have any animosity towards anyone, but altogether, the cards, yes, they do. They make a lot of sense.
Huh?
All right, you know what? We're gonna cut the show.
Yeah.
Dan, I appreciate you coming onto the show.
Thank you for having me,
Susan,
guys.
Thank
Angelo,
you.
Tell me
Chris.
what page again?
Yeah,
What's that?
Your
Tell me your
webpage.
webpage one more time.
Webpage is Sawgrass, SAWGRASSNY.com.
Please go to that page. Watch all the footage that's on there. Interesting stuff. I've been on the page numerous times. You've done a lot of work, doing a lot of different things. Like you said, meeting a lot of different people.
Yes.
Very interesting. I really look forward to this documentary coming out.
Thank you.
Maybe one day we can be on your documentary, which would be fun.
I would love to do an
Yeah,
episode of
definitely.
Just Haunted Long Island alone.
Well, let's roll with that. We're good with that. Everybody, sorry for any technical difficulties tonight. This will air no matter what.
It was my fault. It was the new guy's fault.
Yeah, and
It was
thank
Murphy's
you.
fault. Murphy's with us.
Thank you for Optimum Online for being always right on top of you, Gabe. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Yeah, really?
The coffee cup. Seconds it was. What, 7 seconds? 8 seconds? I caught this
Entity.
I don't know what to call it because, and I study this. I mean, I must have looked at this thousands of times just to make sure that I'm not crazy. I mean,
Well, you
everybody
are
knows
crazy.
me. I'm crazy.
Yes,
but,
you're absolutely
you know,
crazy.
I'm not out of my freaking mind that way, you know.
Well.
So I'm looking, and it was just weird during the day, like when you watch shows like Ghost Hunters and
You don't see any of that stuff.
You don't really see any of that. Like if you see like orbs or glows of light. Like this is a shadow I caught. Seems like I don't know, drifting, walking, whatever. But
The amazing part, I'm going to cut you off here, is it goes past the tombstone, right?
right.
And then it actually goes past the tombstone. I watched it like you. Angelo even said that he was like stopping it and going, stop, go.
No, that's what I
And you're
said. I originally got to him. I said, was there somebody walking behind you?
Right, I remember
casting
you-
a shadow? He says, no. So, you have to debunk everything.
Oh,
That's what we-
absolutely.
that's what
Matter
we
of
do.
fact, I have a video on on YouTube debunking what I found on
The wall.
No, debunking Sagdaco's Manor.
Oh,
I had a picture of a little girl,
right.
and I went back and I explained what the picture was. It wasn't real.
Right.
It was. I didn't use night vision back in the day, and it was just this stump, and then with a piece of cement, and with the angle that I had, it looked like a little girl, looked like she was playing ball, and it was fake. I went back because I looked at pictures over and over and over. I'm like, really? And if you know anything about paranormal, if you take one picture and then you take the exact same picture a second later or 2 seconds later, and the picture's still there, and then you take it again and it's still there,
It's not paranormal.
Then it's not paranormal.
Yeah.
That's something that's either in the cement, like Man in the Wall,
Right.
or something. But this video, when I looked at it over and over, I'm looking at it. I'm like, it seems to be actually, and the way
Was against the tombstone.
so it's contradicting the angle of the sun.
Of the
and
sun.
stuff.
And not even just that, after, like you said, when it goes beyond the tombstone, if you're looking at the grass and the fence in between the two tombstones, you still see the shadow there.
Yeah.
So it really, I mean, a complete surprise.
I would. There's a lot of people that watch our site, watch the video because we posted on there. Bellwood Paranormal is a paranormal investigator that lives outside this world. He said he thought it was a cloud casting, but then saw nothing on the ground. It disappeared by the time he got into the next grave. By the time it got into the next
So
tombstone.
you're going to get that. Everybody who's in the paranormal world is going to try and
Debunk it,
somebody
absolutely.
else's, and if you
Yeah.
can't do it,
But if you're
then
looking,
you have
you're
something.
looking, you're looking right at Bellwood here. He's trying to debunk it, and he really doesn't have an answer for it either.
Right.
So I mean, this is, and you got Christopher George on here, which is the same thing. He had taken a look at it. He told me, and they all thought it was amazing footage.
Well, here's the thing. You're talking to a guy. I love being a filmmaker. You know, I'm not here to put on a show for anybody. I love documentaries. I'm, working on this film for Long Island has been a passion of mine. And my wife will tell you, I'm out every day doing something in regards to Long Island. And as we now have probably close to 20,000 hours of footage to go through.
Wow.
It's a lot of footage.
Sure.
So as I'm doing the storyboarding in my head, I'm also looking at certain footages and certain things. I mean, the Gardeners and the Thompsons are buried in Sagato's Manor, and Gardeners Island, Gardeners Bay, Gardeners Park. This is the Gardeners family. Like, to me, that was an important spot to get on camera. Wasn't meant in any ideology whatsoever for paranormal, videoing or anything. I wasn't looking. I was just looking to film historical, important places here on Long Island.
Everyone, welcome to the Casper Paranormal View. My name is Chris, and this is Dan, Superman, Angelo, and the strange and lovely A-New. That's A-N-E-W is what we're going to call her from now
That's
on.
how it sounds, but it's A-N-N-U.
Oh, is that
Or
what
how
it is?
you say N with a U.
Yes. So, to all the people that are out watching us, the thousands upon thousands of viewers that we have, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I would like a sound check from one of our. Hello, Laura. One of our people.
Are we
from
sounding
out
there, Richard?
Really?
My voice a little loud. But
Yeah.
I'm sorry. How are we?
Richard, just open your window. You'll be able to hear Angelo. Okay? He's in Jersey. I mean.
I do that a lot. My
what?
voice is always loud.
Oh yeah.
I have to learn.
Oh, it's
I'm
funny.
gonna have to wear a muzzle.
Yeah.
Sweetheart. See, you got your fan base, girl. You don't need to
Very,
say a word.
very, very
You
loud.
got it.
But
Don't worry about
anyway,
these two guys.
Thank you.
We're buzzing.
we are. I was buzzing earlier, but
You
I'm
might
not
have to-
buzzing now.
You might have
Oh.
to lower the order.
Okay, I can lower it. I can do the
know.
mixer right here, and I will lower this down just a little bit.
Okay, Richard, we're on
Testing
you.
1 2. Testing 1 2.
Oh,
Okay,
how's that now, Richard?
I'm going to actually do this. I'm going to do this. Testing 1 2.
Okay.
This already exists.
Technical difficulties already.
No, not necessarily.
Still there.
Fine
We're
tuning.
trying. We're trying. And the gain should be perfect.
You know, it might be your fan. The fan.
It might be the
Computer?
fan. That's what this was for. Angelo.
Okay, let's slip that back on.
That was me. That was me. I know this looks wrong. Just put the sock back on the
There
microphone.
we go.
So, I'm sorry, you're putting the sock back on one? It walked. It was like just the slowness and the mysterious of the way it looked.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly. The more I looked at it, I said, the more I was like, yeah. Now, like I say, the more you look at it, the more you can pick
It's
it out.
almost like it was
You can
floating.
almost see the
Right.
image, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And it was
Yeah.
just.
Well, not even just
gliding
that.
Right by.
What you're talking about as far as the camera and taking pictures, you also gotta understand we're now also in a digital era as opposed to a film era. I mean, film is pretty much dying out. And with the lenses and the overlays or the overlaps, and you say digital's a little more different than film, where it may not carry that over to the next shot because it's a digital picture. a high def picture, not a film exposure. Do you understand? It's
Yeah.
sort of difference. But the other thing I've been hearing too was it could be reflection of the light and whatever else. But when I watched this video, if you watch this video real quick, when I was doing my frame up, I had it zoomed out all the way because this is what I was taught with the lens. You zoom it out all the way and then you focus that way. So that way when you zoom out, it's always constantly in focus. And that's what I was doing for my frame up. I zoomed in all the way and then zoomed out slowly. Again, taking the photograph thinking I was taking a picture, not a video. And then when I realized I started video, I stopped it right away. But that 7 seconds was amazing to watch it because I'm coming. My camera's not even moving if you watch the video. It's the figure
Right.
itself moving.
Yeah.
But
On
not
a
even just
tripod?
that. I was on a tripod, learning the frame up. I was with my next door neighbor Steve and the curator at the time of Sawgrass Manor. I've got the gentleman's name. And Steve was actually maybe a step behind me with the curator standing shoulder to shoulder with him. So these gentlemen were behind me. And when you look at the video, you know, if you understand shadows at all, like I'm looking at lights in here and I see the shadows on my coffee cup, they're coming different angles. The sun was high and obviously in a certain direction because you could look on one of those monuments, you could actually see the shadows angled. You know, so the sun was in that direction where the tombstone, when you were looking at it, it was
Right back on.
on the microphone.
How is that now? Is it better?
Okay. Well, anyway, it's an exciting night tonight. We have some people here. First of all, if everybody saw the Facebook page
We're freezing.
of the, you're cold?
No.
Yeah, we
we're
keep
picture
freezing and I have weird
Oh,
movement.
that's okay. We'll deal with it.
Just a
It'll-
glitch.
Okay.
Just a glitch. Just go with it. If everybody saw the Facebook page of the ghostly thing in the Sagdaco's Manor, this is the man that took it. The
Yeah.
gentleman from Sawgrass. He is Sawgrass. He
Sawgrass
is the man.
Productions, get it right.
Hey everyone.
Sawgrass Productions. Dan, tell us how you came across finding such a phenomenal footage that you have.
Actually, I wasn't there to film anything paranormal. My company and I were producing a documentary film of Long Island. It's long overdue. We haven't done it, and we've been filming 2 years. And when I first got into the business, prior to 2 years ago, I never picked up a camera really. I told my wife I wanted to start my own business, do a documentary film of Long Island. Next thing you know, she bought a camera and it's in my hand. So when we started filming, we started hitting the areas locally. I live in West Islip, so Sawgrass Manor is not too far from us on Montauk Highway. And it's just one of the historical places of Long Island. So learning the camera, learning how to do the frame ups and everything, I was with my next door neighbor at the time, and the cemetery is right there on the property. You've been there, you've done investigations there.
Absolutely.
So the cemetery is right there, and it was interesting that you were telling me on Facebook the other day that there's a little girl that haunts the place, because I actually went back and they do have that little, what do you call it, monument for that little unknown Indian girl or something like that. So it was weird, but when that particular shot came up, I actually didn't mean to film it. That's why it's so short, because I see people on Facebook saying, I need a longer clip to look at.
Right.
I was actually doing the frame up, and I thought I took a picture and not recorded. So when I realized I recorded, I stopped. But in that whatever amount of